Sairam students, welcome back once again. In this lecture, we are going to continue with part 2 of chapter 5 from your Footprints Without Feet textbook. And the lesson name is Footprints Without Feet by H.G. Wells. The story, Footprints Without Feet, describes the story of a brilliant scientist, Griffin, who discovers a drug that makes him invisible. The lesson is very interesting because Griffin uses his discovery for doing lawless things. Okay, he uses his efforts that he has put in discovering that drug to do things that harms everyone. Okay, so in this lecture, let us continue and learn more about him. Satisfied that her guest was an eccentric scientist, eccentric refers to an unconventional and slightly strange. And in view of the fact that he had paid her in advance, Mrs. Hall was prepared to excuse his strange habits and irritable temper. But the stolen money did not last long, and presently Griffin had to admit that he had no more ready cash. He pretended, however, that he was expecting a check to arrive at any moment. So Mrs. Hall accepted that his new guest was a strange scientist and was ready to excuse him for his temper and his habits that were really different because he had paid her in advance. Okay, he had already paid the rent in advance. So she excused him of his rare and strange habits. Then the time came when his money was over. Okay, his money got exhausted. The money that he looted from the shopkeeper, from the theatrical company, that got exhausted. So what he did? He had no ready cash available for making any further payment. He had to pretend. Here he had to pretend that he was waiting for a check which would arrive at any moment. And then something strange happened. Shortly afterwards, a curious episode occurred. Very early in the morning, a clergyman. You know who is a clergyman? A clergyman is a priest, or you can say a minister, right? A clergyman and his wife were awakened by noises in the study. Creeping downstairs, they heard the chink of money being taken from the clergyman's desk. Clergyman, as I said, a male priest, minister, or a religious leader, especially a Christian one. So students, the clergyman and his wife were awakened because of some noises in their study room. So when they were coming downstairs, they could hear the sound. Okay, they could hear the sound, the sound of money being taken from the clergyman's desk. Okay, so they could feel that there is some robbery, some burglary some theft being taking place in their inn. The clergyman, what did he do next? Without making any noise and with a poker grasped firmly. Poker? It's a metal rod with a handle. It is mainly used for prodding or stirring an open fire. He grasped it firmly. He held it tightly in his hand. The clergyman flung open the door. Surrender. So the clergyman, what he did, he held a metal rod. Okay, he realized when he heard the noise of, when he heard the sound of money being taken from his desk, he realized that there is someone. Okay, and he thought that there is definitely a robber. So he held a metal rod in his hand and flung the door open. And as soon as he opened the door, what happened? He shouted, surrender. Because he was expecting a thief over there. Then to his amazement, he realized that the room appeared to be empty. He and his wife looked under the desk and behind the curtains and even up the chimney. There wasn't a sign of anybody. Yet the desk had been opened and the housekeeping money was missing. So here, to their surprise, they couldn't see anyone. There was no one there. They looked under the desk, behind the curtains, and even up the chimney. But the person was nowhere to be seen. Yet the desk had been opened, the clergyman's desk where he kept the money. It was opened and the money was gone. So someone had definitely taken that money, but there was no one to be seen. So let's see what happened. Extraordinary affair, the clergyman kept saying for the rest of the day. But it was not as extraordinary as the behavior of Mrs. Hall's furniture a little later that morning. The landlord and his wife were up very early. So the clergyman, he kept on saying the whole day, extraordinary affair. Affair in the sense a sequence of events or a situation. The whole day, because he was really shocked by the incident. Right, he couldn't accept the fact that the money is being stolen from his desk and there was no one. But the thing that happened with Mrs. Hall's furniture were much more fascinating than what happened earlier. So what happened earlier? So what happened next? They were surprised to see the scientist's door wide open. Usually it was shut and locked. And he was furious if anyone entered his room. The opportunity seemed too good to be missed. They peeped round the door, saw nobody, and decided to investigate. So, what happened next? The things that happened next were really fascinating. Mrs. Hall and her husband woke up very early and they were surprised as the door of the scientist's door, the scientist with the room where he was, the guest room where he was staying, that room, the door of that room was open. Usually the door remains closed and locked because the scientist never liked anyone disturbing him. So he used to get very angry if someone tried entering his room. It was an opportunity for Mrs. Hall. Okay, so without wasting time, what she did not want to miss this. So they decided to investigate and find out. So when they saw that nobody was inside the room, they wanted to investigate. They wanted to see what they can find in his room. The bedclothes were cold, showing that the scientist must have been up for some time. And stranger still, the clothes and bandages that he always wore were lying about the room. So here, his bed sheets were cold, which shows that he must have been up for a while. And also, all the bandages that he used to tie around his face were lying around the room. So that was really strange. All of a sudden, Mrs. Hall heard a sniff. Sniff is like, you draw up air audibly through the nose to detect a smell. A sniff close to her ear. A moment later, the hat on the bedpost leapt up and dashed itself into her face. Then the bedroom chair became alive. Springing into the air, it charged straight at her legs foremost. As she and her husband turned away in terror, the extraordinary chair pushed them both out of the room and then appeared to slam and lock the door after them. So now something strange took place. So what happened next? Suddenly Mrs. Hall heard a sniff close to her ear, and Griffin's hat that was lying on the bedpost, it flung towards Mrs. Hall and hit her on her face. And later on, what happened? The chair in the room, it dashed itself itself in such a way, hitting Mrs. Hall in her legs. So as they got scared, Mrs. Hall and her husband, they turned away in terror. They were terrified. Okay, when such strange things took place. The extraordinary chair which was closed, the door, it closed the door, and suddenly a sound of slamming the door and locking were heard. Okay, so this really terrified Mrs. Hall and her husband. Mrs. Hall almost fell down the stairs in hysterics. Hysterics are wildly emotional, exaggerated reaction. She has never seen such thing happening in her life. So she was really scared. And as she was getting down the staircase, she was convinced that the room was haunted by spirits and that the stranger had somehow caused these to enter into her furniture. My poor mother used to sit in that chair. She moaned. She made a long sound, okay, expressing physical or mental suffering. Okay, she was quite depressed. To think it should rise up against me now. So here what happened? When the chair in the room dashed itself hitting Mrs. Hall's legs, she was scared. Okay, she was terrified. And because of that, what happened? It left an impact on her. Okay, according to her, this chair belonged to her mother. Okay, it belonged to her mother. She moaned that her mother used to sit on this chair, okay, which hit her legs. And she thought that how could it rise up against her? All right, she was very surprised because it was the chair on which her mother used to sit, and she was quite convinced. She was quite convinced of the thought that there were spirits in her inn's room, and that the stranger who had come to her inn is responsible for making this happen, for causing this to happen. The feeling among the neighbors was that the trouble was caused by witchcraft. Witchcraft refers to black magic. So the neighbors, what did they think? The neighbors of Mrs. Hall thought that it was witchcraft. It was black magic, some kind of spell that was being cast on them. So something like this could have happened. But witchcraft or not, when news of the burglary at the clergyman's home became known, the strange scientist was strongly suspected of having had a hand in it. Suspicion grew even stronger when he suddenly produced some ready cash, though he had admitted not long before that he had no money. All right. So what happened here? Everyone believed, okay, that there was definitely some witchcraft in this inn. When the news of the burglary at the clergyman's house it reached other people in the village, what happened? Everyone started suspecting that the strange scientist who had come to their inn is responsible for all these things, and suspicion grew stronger when the scientist gave or when the scientist produced ready cash for payment of his bills, for the payment of his rent. So even he had told some time back that he did not have any money. He did not had any money and he was waiting for the check. But then suddenly there he had money, he had ready cash, and he had paid his rent, and he had paid the money, not the rent. The village constable was secretly sent for. Instead of waiting for the constable, Mrs. Hall went to the scientist, who had somehow mysteriously appeared from his empty bedroom. So Mrs. Hall did not want it. The village constable was called for, and Mrs. Hall, she did not wanted to wait for him. She went straight to Griffin as he appeared. Suddenly he appeared in the room. So she straight away walked up to him. I want to know what you have been doing to my chair upstairs, she demanded. And I want to know how it is you came out of an empty room and how you entered a locked room. Now she wanted an answer to these questions. So she straight away asked him what he has been doing upstairs. Where upstairs? Where her mother's chair was kept, to her chairs and furniture. She also asked him how did he come out of the empty bedroom or enter the locked room. Okay, how did he came out of the empty bedroom, and how did he come out of the empty bedroom or the locked bedroom. So these were the questions she was expecting an answer for. The scientist was always quick tempered. Now he became furious. Okay, now he became really angry on her. You don't understand who or what I am? He shouted. Very well, I will show you. Suddenly, he threw off bandages, whiskers, spectacles, and even nose. Now the scientist was really furious. The scientist was really angry and started shouting that she doesn't understand whom she was talking to, who or what he was. And he decided to show them the truth. So what he did? He removed his bandages, whiskers, spectacles, and also his nose. It took him only a minute to do this. The horrified people in the bar found themselves staring at a headless man. Mr. Jaffers, the constable, now arrived and was quite surprised to find that he had to arrest a man without a head. So he removed his bandages, the whiskers and spectacles, everything. And it took him just a minute to do all these things, to remove all these things. The horrified people, the people who were filled with terror, they were extremely shocked at this sight. They were they were very scared, horrified as the sight where they looked at a headless man. Mr. Jaffers, the constable of the village, was already he arrived there, and he was also surprised as he saw that he has to arrest a man without any head. But Jaffers was not easily prevented from doing his duty. If a magistrate's warrant ordered a person's arrest, then that person had to be arrested with or without his head. Magistrate is a civil officer who administers the law, especially the one who conducts a court. So Jaffers, who still wanted to do his duty, as he knew that the magistrate wanted him to arrest the person, and it does not matter even if that person to be arrested does not have a head, whether he has a head or not, it does not matter. If magistrate has ordered that this person has to be arrested, then that thing has to be done, that order has to be followed. There followed a remarkable scene as the policeman tried to get hold of a man who was becoming more and more invisible as he threw off one garment after another. Finally, a shirt flew into the air. So now there were strange things, remarkable scenes happening. What happened there? The policeman, he tried to get hold of this man, get hold of Griffin. As he threw away more and more of his clothes, he became more and more invisible. And finally, when he removed, finally when he threw off one of the, all the garment, and finally when he threw his shirt into the air, he was completely invisible. And the constable found himself struggling with someone he could not see at all. So Jaffers, the constable who was present there, was struggling to arrest a person who cannot be seen, who had become completely invisible. Some people tried to help him but found themselves hit by blows that seemed to come from nowhere. The end, Jaffers knocked unconscious as he made a last attempt to hold on to the unseen scientist. There were nervous, excited cries of, "Hold him!" But this was easier said than done. Griffin had shaken himself free, and no one knew where to lay hands on him. So people who tried helping Jaffers were also struggling. Okay, why? Because they were hit by blows that was coming from nowhere. They cannot see. They were not able to see who is hitting them. As Jaffers made his last attempt to catch hold of the invisible man, he was knocked unconscious by the invisible man. Okay, he was knocked down and he became unconscious. Everybody was shouting, "Hold him!" repeatedly, but Griffin had set himself free from them and from everybody over there. And nobody could even understand. Nobody was in a state to understand how to catch him. So finally, Griffin was free after he knocked down the constable. Alright, so with this, we come to an end of this lesson. And let me tell you the value points of this lesson. Griffin, a scientist, discovers a rare drug which can make a person invisible. His landlord dislikes him. Griffin wants to take revenge on him. He swallows the drop and puts the house on fire. He puts off clothes, becomes invisible, and runs away. It was cold weather, and he felt the need of clothes. So he slips inside a clothes store and takes a meal and sleeps there at night. Two attendants chase him in the morning. He was again homeless and clothless. He loots a shopkeeper of a theatrical company and catches a train to Iping village. The money of loot doesn't suffice, doesn't last for long. So he steals money from clergyman's desk. Suspicion falls on the scientist when he pays the rent. Mrs. Hall finds the room of the scientist opened. She wants to look into the room. And what happens? As she opens, she finds the room of the scientist opened. She wants to look into the room. A hat springs up and hits on her face. The chair of the room becomes alive and forces Mr. and Mrs. Hall out of the room. Suddenly, Griffin appears from nowhere. When Mr. and Mrs. Hall inquire about the theft, Griffin gets angry. He removes the bandages and false nose. Now he was headless. The constable is called to arrest the headless man, but he is wounded by the invisible scientist. So, here we come to an end of this lesson. I hope students you understood the lesson well. Do click on the assignment, the home assignments, and complete it on time. Thank you so much.